So my name is Jessica Chisley. My position with the college is the Assistant Director of Diversity and Inclusion Programs.
My name is Aaron Mitchell. I'm a senior, and I am part of the BSO exec team.
I am Phoenix Staton. I am a junior here, and I am the president of Sister to Sister. And Sister to Sister is an organization on campus that connects Black women to other Black women. Black history to me is all about kind of connecting with the past that I wasn't told. And so I've tried to be a little bit more intentional since I've been here at Center with kind of connecting with those stories that I haven't, been exposed to, and also kind of connecting with Black liberation stories instead of Black stories about struggle. That's something that I've had the opportunity to explore actually this past January. I took a course called Black Women in Contemporary Society, and just hearing all of the stories and also just like theories about Black feminism has, kind of granted me a little bit of insight into the Black experience, specifically for Black women. And so that's kind of what I have been focused on this Black History Month.
So what Black history means to me is really just all about stories. A lot of what I found out about Black history, I had to find out on my own. So I take February out to really just try to focus and figure stuff out. But for the most part, I was always told that Black history was, we were on a boat, slave, here, everything's all right now. So figuring out like everything that happened in between just makes everything make so much more sense, and it really shows you where we're at.
When I was younger, it was a month that we celebrated. I never quite fully understood why, and I feel like that sounds horrible to say, but it didn't resonate in ways now that I've gotten older. I think what Black History Month started to do is take on a much deeper meaning and much more significance as I've gotten older. And a lot of that definitely came through pieces of history throughout my 20s and then my 30s and even now. And just seeing how people are just like, enough is enough. See me, value me, treat me like a human being. And so in watching that unfold, that was when I really started to put the pieces together, that the battles that were going on and are still occurring in our society, they've existed and they stem back all the way to the freedom fighters that we celebrate, that I didn't quite understand why we were like, what are we celebrating? What happened in the significance? Things that mean a lot to my grandparents and older generations. Now I'm starting to get it. I really am starting to deeply understand it more.
Honestly, when I came in, it was really hard for me to find the support system that I needed. So coming back my sophomore year, I would really just go out my way to try to make those connections with people. And ultimately, that's what ended up putting me on the BSO exec team. At first, I wanted to be the treasurer. I don't know how it happened, but I'm the co-chair of PR now, so that's something. But really, I just try to plan events, just do whatever I can to get people together.
The office started pretty much from almost a single person who was the chief diversity officer, and that person was trying to educate and at least have conversations where folks felt okay even saying things like a person of color. Just having that conversation, using that vocabulary. Students weren't feeling like they were getting equal opportunity too. Even in the classroom, just struggling with identity in general and just things said in the classroom that were insensitive. A lot, in the instances happening a lot, that students finally just kind of said, enough is enough. We have to be better. And they pushed for the change, and that's what ultimately led to the sit-in. And so once the sit-in happened, that's where the students had, they had outlined a list of demands that they wanted to see on campus for change. Among those things was an Office of Diversity and Inclusion, a staffed Office of Diversity and Inclusion.
I'm actually really happy that this past year, the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, or what we kind of call the ODI, has thrown a lot more events or kind of hosted a lot more gatherings where we can talk about diversity and we can talk about, Black culture and inclusion on campus. Actually today, I think that they held a Pan-African desserts event, and that was super dope for me to see. I wasn't able to actually come out, but it was nice to know that people on campus of the Pan-African diaspora can come and, grab snacks or like also explore other countries and their snacks and cuisines. And so that was super cool. And also I know that there's an event coming up to celebrate Mardi Gras. And someone is going to be cooking, I believe, like a seafood boil, if I'm not mistaken. And so kind of events like that, I love food, and so those always kind of attract me. But they've had a whole bunch of other events, and so I like just seeing kind of necessarily like Black culture on display, but like Black culture just like kind of ingrained into just like the everyday happenings. And I'm really appreciative that that's kind of happening more throughout the year.
So actually that was one of the things that got me to come here in the first place. With the showcase, we actually got that coming up tomorrow. But yeah, just saw everybody together, everybody having a good time. Meech was doing his Michael Jackson dance. It was a great time. So I got here and it wasn't as, I guess, out there as I thought it would be first coming in. But everybody tries to do their part to kind of make something happen, I guess. But the school has been a lot more inclusive as of late. We've got the BSO room going on. What else? We've had the convocation with the first Black man to come through center. So, we're doing things. It's getting better over time, but we had to take some steps to get there.
I try not to paint with broad generalizations because I think people are unique in and of themselves. And so I don't want to say just because I'm Black and this person's Black or that person's Black that we all have the same interests. We all want to dress the same way. We all listen to the same music. I think that you have to be careful painting that way. But I think just from what I've seen is that people genuinely feel way more comfortable now in their own skin, dressing the way that is authentic and true to them, and not thinking twice about it. I mean, I know that that used to be something I always worried about when I was here, because I was always worried about what do people think. I do feel that I've seen much more freedom of expression and people feeling more comfortable in their own skin at this institution than I did in the past.